Yes! Get ready! It is yet another pirate episode. Pirate episode! Hello, yo, it's me, PoGokeRo, here with a pirate episode. Let me turn this down a bit. Oh man, it's super loud. You can be up here for everyone else. Let's keep it 50%. How about that? 50%. That way I can adjust you nicely. Alright, there we go. Okay. So yeah, back to game. Here I am I'm in the middle of making Billionaire's line. How far do I have to go? Oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. But I'm out of blocks, so I gotta return and then make the train line to get here. So yeah, and I have vowed to do this all on camera, so that you, the viewer, may know the difference between $1 million and $1 billion. Well, what do you mean, PoGokeRo? Well, every single block here that we're walking on equals $100,000. Every single one is $100,000. And I started way back there. And we're still making it. I'm still making it to get to $1 billion. I've already mapped out $1 million. And now I am attempting to map out $1 billion. Just so you can know the difference, because people, they hear the word millionaire, billionaire, and it doesn't really compute for them. Like, it doesn't really sink in to them how much is $1 billion. And because they don't understand how much is $1 billion, maybe they're easily fooled. Maybe they're easily tricked. I don't know. But the deal is, they make decisions based on this faulty understanding of what is $1 billion. You gotta understand that $1 billion is like an absurd amount, an absurd number. Dude, that's a skeleton over there. What? That's funny. Goodbye, skeleton. I might have to fix that later on. But yeah, so, and you have to understand that this billion that I'm walking on here, I'm trying to make, this billion, it confers a ridiculous amount of power upon the owner of this $1 billion. Like, the owner of this $1 billion has, well, not unimaginable power, but a whole bunch of power. A whole bunch of power. In the case of Jeffrey Epstein, he almost got away with like defying a nation state by defying all its laws. And when you look over in places like Russia, where organized crime has merged with the government, so that they're one and the same, literally. I know there's the right-wing joke over here that they like to talk about. The federal government is a racket. The federal government are criminals. But no, they're not. Nowhere near it. Like, in Russia, they literally are like criminals. The government. I mean, they're not literally criminals. I'm sure the government workers themselves aren't in it, but the leaders are. Yeah, the Russian people, you guys are fighting hard against Putin. Good on you guys. So the United States, we have been attacked by the Russians. And the way that we were attacked is through information warfare. And Americans are woefully behind the Russians in this realm of understanding the world. It's like a consciousness. Yeah, that's a place that Americans didn't really poke into, their head, their consciousness, but the Russians did. Okay, so I read this report. It's like a guidebook on Russian information warfare, and it was distributed to like NATO officials and stuff like that. And I haven't finished it. I just skimmed over like the first parts of it, but it's pretty crazy. So the way the Russians look at information warfare is totally different than the way that the West looks at information warfare. To the West, information warfare is only done really during times of aggression, when you're actually actively at war, and it only involves cyberspace. That's the information they're talking about. But for the Russians, for them, you're always using this information war. You're always at information war. Like, there is no downtime. You're always at war with information to the Russians. And they call it, they don't make a distinction in the cyber realm. They don't, like, a computer information and regular social information, like, they don't make it a distinction. Like mass media information, they don't make a distinction. To them, it's all information. It's all information. So it's all there to be used, the whole thing. And the crazy thing about this kind of warfare is that the medium is also the weapon and the target, all in one. Because you're using information to poison other information and control the spread of information through information. So it's like it's crazy. It's all information, and that's actually jives really well with a theory, a perspective of looking at the universe. And I can't really like recall too many details right now, or any details right now. But there's like an information theory where you look at things in terms of like, well, holding information and destroying information, or like, can you lose information? Information information can never be lost, just transformed, and maybe you have no way of retrieving that information, but it's still been recorded. It's still there, the information. And so they said, well, what is life? Life is simply information repeating itself, making more of itself, copying itself. Like in the beginning of life, the Genesis, however it started. It doesn't matter, right? It started moving, it started rolling. Well, what does that look like when it starts to roll? What are you even talking about? Well, when I'm saying life starts to roll, quote, quote, the earliest life forms, the very, very beginning of life, rolling is when you had a bunch of proteins hang out in a particular pattern, right? Proteins hanging out in a pattern of proteins. And this pattern of proteins made a bubble around itself, I guess. And then this pattern of proteins copied itself to make more of itself. And that's basically it. It's a bunch of proteins making copies of itself. Because that's our DNA. And everything started with DNA. DNA is just information, right? It's a pattern of proteins. But that pattern of proteins is not just a pattern of proteins any more than a book is just a bunch of pages. No, there's information in the book. in the words in the book, and in the pattern of proteins that are repeating itself, making more of itself. That pattern is information. The information is the pattern. You have to go in this pattern or it doesn't work. and so this pattern that works also made more of itself. So this information that preserved itself was able to replicate itself and make more of itself. So this is all information theory, and I don't hardly know it. So don't trust my word too much on it. All right, like look it up for yourself. I'm just a start. I'm just a peek. But if you look at it that way, that we're all just information repeating and making more of itself, copying itself. All right, let me work this out for a bit. I gotta grab 1, 2 of those, and then as many of these as I can. I'll grab 3, and then as many of these as I can, which is not that many. All right, so wait a minute here, like that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need sand. Don't need that. I don't need terracotta. I don't need bricks. I have a crafting table. I don't need this. I have a little bit of wood. What I need are sticks. Okay, to make more tracks. Where are my tracks? There they are. I cannot make more because I'm out of iron. But there's more iron. So I'm not really out of tracks. Out of iron. These tracks, man, they eat your iron. I don't need string. Oh, hey, I brought a whole bunch of iron with me. Look at that. Nice. I got this on. What? Wah, wah, wah. Alright. Alright. What am I missing here? That. Okay. Wow, that's it. Oh, wait. I can get rid of that little bit of iron. Makes me sad. Or that real quick. Parfait. Presque parfait. C'est moi. Okay. I don't want to fuss too much. Let's just get going here. Oh wait, I need freaking levers. I don't have enough. I need more. Alright. So you're going back. You're coming with me. You're making levers. Ok. D'accord. On y va. Tout de suite. Tout de suite. Kimo sabe. Okay. Wah. Ha. Ha. Hey, there we go. Okay, let us begin. So, life. Why did I even bring up the whole? Why did I even bring that up? Information. Okay, yeah. Information that just wants to make more of itself. That's life. So, you, as a human, you're awesome, right? Humans are great. Because humans have an amazing ability to not only process information, but to create information. Like, I mean, books. Books don't just grow on trees. Humans have to write them. They have to take information and condense it down. Like, that's great. You make order. That's awesome. Why am I talking like this? What was the point? I don't know why I brought that up. Now I can't remember. So maybe I should start on my deals here. Well, no, it's just a framework, I guess. Like, think of things in terms of like information, because you have to remember, not all information. Okay, not all information. Oh crap! Gets expressed. Just because your information doesn't mean your information that's contained within it is gonna be used for anything. Like, there's one thing about having a book, or like, having a blueprint is one thing, right? That's information. But actually building the thing in the blueprint, that's an entirely different thing. That's the expression. That's an expression of the information in the blueprint. So, yeah, I have to like not do that. Okay, try again. So, inside of our genes, our DNA, there's recessive genes and dominant genes. And then, so what this means is that if you have two parents and you get genes from each of them. So if one parent, let's see, no. If one parent has the dominant gene and the other parent, so you get genes from your parents. And so if there's two recessive genes, then the recessive trait is going to be expressed in the organism. If there's a dominant gene and a recessive gene, the dominant gene wins out and the recessive gene doesn't get expressed. It just hangs out in the background. Yeah, basically, literally, that's what it does. It maybe your kids will get it, but you will never ever have it. Because it's not going to be expressed in you. Like, it has to be patterned a certain way for it to work. Because the organism can really only express, one thing at a time. Some things are mutually exclusive. Okay, why am I talking like this? What am I talking about? Yeah, because it applies to information itself. Because information two different things can't be expressed at the same time. You can't express intolerance and tolerance at the same time. I mean, I guess you could, but then it cancels it out. Not it cancels it out, but like, let me think. This is what happens when you play Minecraft and you try going in a weird direction instead of sticking to your notes. So, information, yeah. Yeah, you can't really, two different paradigms can't exist in the same place. Cannot. I have no blocks. Oh, take sand. Because why not? Is it really better than dirt? I have a feeling that the bats are going to come out. Maybe sand wasn't such a great idea. Alright, what was I even talking about? Information. So, two different paradigms. You have fascism and socialism. These are totally opposite ideas. They cannot coexist. They tried under neoliberalism, but it didn't work out. Or it's not working out. Because the deal that was struck was broken. Remember we had a new deal? And remember when workers got paid in proportion to their bosses, and as the company prospered, the workers prospered? Remember when that happened? Yeah, about that. It seems that got decoupled sometime back in the 1970s. And it's been a bad deal ever since. It's been getting worse and worse. So sure, the boomers got to have like really cheap college. But after them, it started getting more and more and more expensive. Until it just got ridiculous. Like absurd. And not only is it absurd, but a college degree is required for almost any job now. Which is like kind of crazy, to be honest. So it's less about the skills and more about gatekeeping. Which is not cool, because that's inefficient. So it's not being done because it's efficient for the market. It's being done for some other reason. I gotta figure it out, you know, or we gotta think about it. Like, why is college tuition so expensive? Why hasn't government paid for it? I would think that would keep it in check. If the government had to pay for it, college wouldn't be costing what it does. I mean, you have your private ones, sure, right? But not the public ones. It's getting ridiculous. That should be free. So yeah, two different ideas, and we see them. It was a truce with liberal neoliberalism, right? Neoliberalism was going to be like the truce between them, but it didn't pan out because the other side cheated or broke their deal. The capitalists broke their deal. And they started taking away what had been won. So that's why we're kind of at this point now, because since the liberal market liberalism broke down, because it didn't, one side didn't honor its obligations. Because that happened, now we're seeing the breakdown, right? That was like the cartilage between the two main forces, which is fascism and socialism. Market democracy was supposed to be the cartilage between it. Welfare democracy. Because capitalism is by nature fascist. Capitalism doesn't really work very good in democracy. Because capitalism only wants to respond to the market. It doesn't care what the people want. Okay. So that's the other conundrum. Is that capitalism doesn't like this democracy stuff. Democracy gets in the way. Because it empowers poor people. And fascism is a top-down ideology. It wants to concentrate power at the top and make a pyramid structure. And democracy, by its nature, flattens out the power and doesn't concentrate it. It diffuses it in the people. So you gotta think, what the hell is socialism? What am I even talking about? Because everyone says socialism, fascism, blah 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 blah, capitalism. Like, what are you even talking about? And I guess you could say capitalism is like the engine of a car. And socialism or fascism, the governments, that's like the manufacturer, I guess. And then the model of the car is like democratic, like your flavor of like democracy, or authoritarian, or monarchy, or whatever, like your government, right? What do you think? No. Because like capitalism is like the mode of production. Capitalism, because before capitalism there was feudalism. That's how you made things go. That's how your economy ran. It was a feudal economy. It was serfs and lords with really tiny like guilds who did some of the manufactured goods, but there weren't that many. And there was some trade, but trade was difficult because bandits, like space was really difficult to cross before cars and rail. Yes, crossing land was really, really hard. It was like hard. Yeah, I mean, you walked everywhere. crap. Alright, didn't die, didn't fall. Alright, it's good. Hey, Mr. Zombie Man. Oh, I need to do this. 1, 2, 3. But capitalism builds upon what feudalism had and changes things. Instead of power resting in the hands of the aristocracy via land, because land grows food, and food feeds armies, and armies go out and conquer and bring back stuff. Or you can ransom your nobles for money or more land. So it was all based on land, really. But as we moved to the inherent limitation with land is that like it starts to become unmanageable. The more you get, you can't handle it. It's just too much, and so it starts breaking up. You can't So there was kind of like a hard cap, I guess, or a soft cap. Is that the word? A soft cap on how much wealth you could have via land you could amass. Capitalism solves that problem. Man, like, how do I even get into this kind of talk? What am I even going off on? I don't even know anymore. All right, how am I gonna bring this back to anything, like, to do with anything? Oh yeah, so well, two ideas that want to be expressed, but they can't because they're mutually exclusive. Socialism and fascism. What is socialism? Socialism is socially controlled means of production. Another way of putting there's many ways you can socially own something, but the key point is that it's not owned by one person. It's owned by like many people. So you can either do that through a collective, through a government, like, or whatever. And it doesn't have to be like encompassing. Another way of putting it is another way, the Marxist way of putting it is to say worker control of the government. Proletariat seizes power or seizes control of the state. But another way of saying that, because the workers are like us, right? The people, us, we're the workers. We're the ones who like do stuff. We go to work, and if we don't work, we don't get our paycheck. If we don't get our paycheck, we lose our house, our home, our apartment, become homeless. We don't get food, and then we get sick, we die. So we have to work to live. That's why we are where we are. We have to sell our labor to live. The capitalist, the rich guys, the billionaire, like right here, the guy I'm making his line right now, he doesn't have to work to live, right? He cannot do anything for the rest of his life, and he has so much stocked up, he could live like a king already. So yeah, he doesn't have to work, but we have to work. If we don't work, we die. That's our relationship. I didn't bring a cart. You fool. Oh man, all right. So the thing is that, okay, why is it that, okay, so fascism wants to make the pyramid, make a pyramid, and socialism wants to make like a flat plane. That's why these two can't coexist, because pyramids and flat planes are exactly the opposite. like one wants to distribute the power, and the other wants to concentrate the power. One wants to distribute the wealth, the other wants to concentrate the wealth. They're going in totally opposite directions. And there was supposed to be a deal to say, all right, well, allow some concentration of wealth, but you have to ameliorate the misery that this system is going to create. You have to lessen it. You have to lessen the misery. You can have your concentrations of wealth, but you have to put a floor underneath so that humans even the poorest don't fall underneath this floor. And the capitalists are like, all right, fine, we'll allow that. And so that's what we had for a long time. But in America, in the 1970s, the capitalists said, yeah, you know what? We're just going to ignore that deal. Ha, 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 ha. What are you going to do about it? And so bit by bit, they took that away, and they made it worse and worse. So I think what I need to do is move my temporary base closer. But not all of it, because I can make a new mine, like literally right there. It's like I don't have to like go down. Oh, this is so. This is the Billionaires line, right? It's not like I'm doing this because I'm like lala having fun. I'm doing this to show you how far is a billion, or like the difference between a billion and a million. Like, man, this is like going forever. You don't even know. And like I have no one watching me because everyone else is watching the Democratic debates. Which, by the way, I'm all for Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. They have the big ideas, and that's what we need. We need transformational stuff. We need huge ideas. And those two have got those ideas in the bag. Planned out. They've been working their whole lives to implement these ideas, and they'll tell you all about them. I like them. I like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. They're awesome. So what was I gonna do? Okay. So, oh man, there's all this bad stuff. Dude, alright, so the big news is that PewDiePie, he's a big fat streamer who's currently in Minecraft now. So hey, what's up, fellow Minecrafter PewDiePie? This dude has a huge follower base. And I guess the kid in New Zealand who went on a rampage and murdered a bunch of people, he made in his manifesto, he did a shout out to PewDiePie. So what he's saying is, yo, PewDiePie, this Nazi shooter has got inspiration from something you said or did. And so in a way, PewDiePie, you contributed to this hate attack. And so PewDiePie at first recognized it, and he donated to the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which is an anti-Semitic group, I think. They go out and defend minority rights. And I don't know how, like, they seem pretty legit. Right? They're old and they've been around for a while. They seem legit. But PewDiePie got a bunch of crap from some of his followers, from the Nazi followers he has. And apparently he has a lot of Nazi followers. They got all pissed off that he did it. And so rather than telling his Nazi followers to F off, he capitulated to his Nazi followers and took back his donation. Wow. In order to appease his Nazi fan base, PewDiePie followed their lead and did what they wanted. Oh, get out. No, don't do this yet. Don't want to go yet. I have to go back and load up on crap. Oh, nice. Alright, hurry up. Go. Alright, you gotta load up on tracks. Or everything, basically. So wood, I'll take the wood. Steel, gold, steel, the wood. I'll leave all this here. An extra mine cart, you can have that. Ooh, a tree. Ooh, a crafting table. I don't need the crafting table. I don't need the tree. Don't need the dirt. Don't need the sand. Take the cobble. The brick. I'm full up. Can I sleep? I can sleep. Nice. Okay. So PewDiePie, in order to preserve his fan base, took back his donation to an organization that defends minorities. I don't know, PewDiePie, that sounds kind of lame. That sounds kind of weak, actually. It sounds like you capitulated, that you gave in. Doesn't sound very strong to me. I don't know, man. I thought you're supposed to be a leader or something. Maybe, I mean, you got this fan base. Why are they following you? I don't get it. I mean, that's kind of weak. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe by the time this goes out, you'll have donated to someone else, and I'll sound like a jerk. Sorry, but until you do, you're the jerk, PewDiePie. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah! Okay, so there's a trial going on. Here, let me show you. Let me show you this video. So up in Portland, there's this group that came from out of town, and they came in, and they came. You can see, right? They're getting off the bus. And this dude right here, has a hammer. You see him? Bop! Bop! Twice. And then they try to wrestle the hammer away from him. Alright. So, bop! Bop! Try to wrestle the hammer away. Alright. So what happened is, the guy that got hit with the hammer, he is under arrest, because he got hit with the hammer. They wrestle the hammer away from him, and they throw the hammer back inside the van. And the guy who got hit with the hammer down here, he was under arrest. And this guy who used the hammer, here. So the guy who used the hammer, wait a minute. So the guy with the hammer, so you got it right. He's the hammer. He's like, fuck. That guy, went, Alright, oh, I got hit, now, I'm under arrest, I'm under arrest, now, I'm in jail, now, I'm in court, because, for assault, I'm in court. Oh, it's my fault. Oh, that's me. Let's watch that video. That guy right here, who gets hit, oh no. The guy who gets hit, that's his fault. Not the guy in the red hat on the bus holding the hammer who's striking. He's not at fault. No, the guy who got hit, he's the one who is at fault. What's up with that, Portland? What the hell is up with that? I don't even get it. That's so stupid. What is wrong with you? So Portland is put on trial, the guy who got hit. So the trial's going on. So it turns out the witness who started this whole thing, the guy who filed the report, was nowhere near this incident. He was nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Didn't see it. Nope. Nothing at all. And all the guys on the bus, none of them would testify or be a witness. None of them said anything. But so Portland is arresting the guy who got hit with a hammer because some dude that wasn't even there said so. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. So another thing that came up was that Lieutenant Jeff Nia, he's a lieutenant with the Portland Police. He became really good friends with this guy named Joey Gibson. Joey Gibson's with the Proud Boys. So he's a police officer, a lieutenant, who texted and was in contact, close contact with this Joey Gibson guy. And this police officer gave information to Joey Gibson to make sure that his boys didn't get arrested, that his Nazis didn't get arrested. He also gave his boys, his Nazis, information, his brown shirts, his red caps, information as to where the anti-fascists were. So basically, Jeff Nia worked as an undercover agent for the Nazis, the Proud Boys. And the Portland PD did a review and said, "Yep, this is cool. We're okay with this." So yeah, issues. There are issues to be dealt with, to be certain. I need a full stack. It's gonna be all wonky. Oh hey, I can do 2 stacks. Can I do 2 stacks? No, I'm out of iron. Now I'm not of oh man, but I have to throw something away. So let's. Oh no! Ah, I have no room for anything. Standing over a kelp forest. What happened to my minecart? Do I have 2 minecarts? Oh no, okay, I left it back there. Alright. So what I need to do is chop this out of the way and see it go away. Alright, whatever. So yeah, Portland PD checked this guy out, this Lieutenant Nia, and he was found out to be A-OK with coordinating with the Proud Boys and giving them information and intel. So not only do we have the Portland, the state of Oregon going after the guy who got hit with the hammer on behalf of a guy who wasn't even there, but we also have the Portland Police Department saying it's okay for their officers to coordinate closely with members of the Proud Boys. Yeah, I see like major problems with this. I just see problems all over the place. Yeah, you know what? Oh man, this is like I'm way out in the middle of nowhere. You know what? Here, I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm gonna make another base, like another mini base. I just make more tracks. We'll make a box and then more tracks. Okay. I don't have enough wood. I have spruce. So you gotta turn to sticks. Tracks. No, I want no. Box. Put stuff away. Stuff we do not want to lose. Ooh, that's scary. Don't want to wake up like that. No! Did it again. But at least I have this like pre-built one. That's funny. Jeez. Can I hop up here? No. Oh man. Alright. This is way better than last time. Why didn't I do it like this last time? Because... Uh-oh. What was I doing? Making tracks. Putting stuff away to make tracks. The blocks. I don't need anything. Out of sticks. Out of sticks. Iron, out of iron. Burning through the iron. Alright. So where was I even talking about? Man, I get sidetracked so easily. I'm just sick of doing this, man. Oh my god, I've been building this track for like literally hours and hours and hours. Okay, Trump denies Bahamas refugees entry into the United States. So I don't know how much more evidence you need to show that Trump is a white nationalist. I mean, if you didn't already know, then that means, like, if you don't know by now, it means you're probably one of them. But I mean, like, it's only going to get worse. He wants to round up all the homeless people in California and put them in camps. Concentration camps. Like, the guy is nuts. And people are like, la 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 la. Here's the thing though, right? He's put out so many times that he intends to stay in power beyond what is allowed, what is legal. Oh no. I press E when I need to press right click. Okay, so my problem is that I don't have enough powered rails, so I need to find if I left some redstone somewhere. If not, we're going all the way back. I didn't leave it in there because I didn't have it. So, like, you can see that his cruelty is ramping up. At first, he started with the margins as far out as he could, which is the the Muslims. He wouldn't let the Muslims in, and then he wouldn't let the South Americans in. Now he's not letting the Bahamas in. It's pretty clear what his deal is. That he doesn't want to let in anyone not white. I don't know. I mean, for some people, I guess that's a bonus. But not me, dude. I love diversity. I love it when it's all mixed up. Strong flavors. So yeah, this is the Billionaire's line. I'm almost done. Pretty tired of it, to be honest. Man. Thwarted by the lack of powered rail. So I made a base in the halfway point. Like, I might have left it there. That's what I'm hoping. But let me tell you, this is a long, long, long line. This is $1 billion. And this is why when Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren say things like, oh yeah, we're going to tax the rich, it's because of things like this. Like, this is absurd. This should not happen. This kind of wealth concentration is un-American. Yeah, so Pelosi is like fears impeachment, and the corporate Dems fear impeachment because they think impeachment was going to be divisive. And she's right. But you have to remember that divide is already there. It's not like it'll be a new divide. Right? That divide is already there. It separates out the Americans from the Confederates. Now, let me let me give support for my argument. So yesterday on 9/11, you have to understand, for some countries, certain days are very, very important. But if you're not from that country, it doesn't really mean a whole big deal. So over here in America, we have November 11th, which is like Veterans Day. Is it Veterans Day? But in France, it's Armistice Day. It's a big deal. It's when World War I ended. And World War I was awful. It was such carnage and destruction that it was unimaginable. I mean, look at the videos of PTSD, the earliest PTSD. They called it shell shock. Man, those guys were messed up. It was awful. And so they have a whole holiday dedicated to it. But if you're not from there and you're not French, then you don't really, it's just another day for you. You don't really care. Okay. So in the United States, for Americans, 9/11 is a pretty big deal. 9/11 is like a national tragedy. It was like a moment of shock that the United States could be. I mean, it's the biggest terrorist attack ever in our country, like ever in our history. We've never had a worse terrorist attack. Like it's like pretty bad. It's like PTSD. The plane stopped flying. Everyone's got the stories about where they were at 9/11. Like, yeah, it's a big deal. So yeah, I understand now that there's a younger generation that never knew what it was like before 9/11. Oh man, that's weird. We can have a conversation about that. But 9/11 is a big deal for Americans. So in North Carolina, there was like the Republican-controlled House assured the Democrats that there would not be any votes of substance that day on 9/11, so that the Democrats could go to 9/11 memorial event on 9/11. And when the Democrats were away, the Republicans changed their mind and decided to have a vote to override the governor's veto. It would have failed if the Democrats would have stayed. But those Republicans tricked the Democrats into leaving so that they could override the veto. They could pass their trickery. Because you have to understand, for Confederates, 9/11 isn't a big deal. They're not really, they don't really care much about the Union, about the United States. They're about the Confederacy. So for them, 9/11 isn't a big deal, right? They're not. That's what I'm saying. For Confederates, 9/11 isn't a big deal, but for Americans, it is. That's why the Confederates, the Republican Confederates, could do their trickery, because for them, 9/11 isn't a big deal. It was funny for them that they could trick the Americans into going away, so that on their stupid day, so that these Confederates could do their trickery. It's funny, right? Real funny. Yeah, we'll see. But more and more, that's what we're dealing with. More and more. In fact, that's kind of what's going on right now. That's how I explain things. The Confederates, the Geist, the spirit of the Confederacy, has long been bubbling under the surface, and in a lot of cases, bubbling out of the surface. But they're losing their ability to hold on to power at the federal level due to demographic changes in the United States. So to compensate, I don't have any redstone. Ooh, more iron. Another iron block I forgot. Look at that, just dropping iron everywhere. Look at me. Alright, so I need redstone. Oh man, it's such a long line. Oh, now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the Confederacy being out in the open. So the Confederacy isn't able to hold on to power anymore through its normal means. There's not enough racist white people for it to work. So they allied with Russia to help them hold on to power. They got rid of democracy and decided to embrace fascism and joined with a foreign power to overthrow our country. And that's what's going on right now. That's the deal right now. That's what's happening. So if you're a Republican, that means you're with the Confederacy. Now, there's a lot of Republicans who don't know this because of our Russian information warfare. Remember when I told you about Russian information warfare? They have a whole deal about how they manage people's perceptions. And they've been at it forever. Plus, they're amplified by Fox News. So, yeah, I understand why these Americans are totally lost to the information warfare. And I don't know how we're going to get them out. But maybe cut the cord? I don't know. Cut off Fox News? That's a good start. But that's just crazy talk. You can't do that legally. All right. Yeah. North Carolina. North Carolina, they had a special election because what happened in North Carolina is the Republicans staged election fraud. They took a bunch of absentee ballots and then didn't deliver them, and a bunch of other shenanigans. So yeah, the Republican and voter ID would not have saved them in that instance. It wouldn't have helped anything. So voter ID doesn't help at all. It's election fraud we have to watch out for. And in North Carolina, there was election fraud by the GOP, the Republicans. So they had a do-over election. And in the do-over election, the Republican barely won. The problem is there's one county that's in, there's one area, district, whatever they call it, that you can't, and something this close you want to do a recount. But you can't because the biggest county, the biggest place, uses a machine that doesn't let you do a recount. And a journalist downloaded the instruction manuals and passwords to open those machines off the internet. Like, it's super obvious that the GOP, the Republicans, the Confederates are attacking democracy because they cannot hold on to power in a democracy. That's why they attack it. It's super clear. I think the big news that came out is that Andrew McCabe is going to be indicted for lying or something to the FBI. So it's basically a made-up charge. But this is what Donald Trump said he was going to do when he got power. He said he was going to go after his enemies. He said he was going to go after his enemies, and he's doing it now. The Andrew McCabe dared to investigate Trump and Russia. And because of that, because Andrew McCabe was going to expose Trump, Trump was going to attack McCabe with the state. The problem is that the DOJ, Department of Justice, the arm through which Donald Trump is trying to attack him, they have no case. They have nothing. They can't possibly get Andrew McCabe. In fact, the discovery might make things worse for Donald Trump. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because one lawyer resigned. He's like, I'm not doing this. And another lawyer just left the case. He's like, nope, I'm going over here now. I'm not doing this anymore. So that looks real bad for Donald Trump. But he might try it. I don't know. Remember, guys, this is the Billionaire's line. Like $1 billion, and I'm not even done yet. Like, so if you think this is long and boring, it's because I'm trying to show you what $1 billion looks like. And it's stupid. It's absurd. If you're like, no one should have this much money, but they do. And if they do, we should tax them a lot. Yeah. So, in so many ways, Donald Trump is corrupting the United States government. And by corrupting the government, he's corrupting, like, the country. He's making it harder for justice to be done. And that's our patron saint, our patron goddess. We have liberty and justice. You know, those are America's patron goddesses. You cannot defile those goddesses, or our country is going to be ruined. And Trump is, he's totally getting all over justice. He's wrecking justice. He's perpetuating injustices all the time. He's wrecking the rule of law. He needs to be held accountable. And that's the Democrats. And they're slowly plodding along. I don't know what their deal is. Some people are saying, oh, they're just waiting for the elections. But man, why do you have to wait for an election? If he's guilty, just get it over with. I guess McConnell will never convict him. But that says more about McConnell than it does. Of course the Confederates aren't going to convict their own president. Why would Confederates convict their own president? Regardless of what this president harmed the Union? Good, that's what the Confederates want. They will never convict Donald Trump. But, we should get him on record for it so that everyone knows, and this charade doesn't continue, that Donald Trump is a legitimate president, because he's not legitimate. He's never been legitimate. He's a criminal. And everyone who supports him is complicit. The people that helped the Nazis but didn't actually do Nazi things, we call them Nazis. The people who supported Nazis, who voted for Nazis, we called them Nazis. PewDiePie. Hey, there's that village. We're almost there. Almost done with $1 billion. Jeez, man. This is absurd. What are you thinking, America? You got to take care of this problem. That anyone would have this much wealth is absurd. But even if they have it, fine. Just tax the hell out of them. Tax them properly. Good and well, tax them. All right. God, this is so bad. I want to get home before I end my stream. But this is making it hard. This is such a long trip. And it's nighttime, so it's dangerous. That's no good. I think I'm almost there. I'm gonna see my gold farm pretty soon. Or maybe not. I thought I was almost there. Man. I'm so tired. Yeah, Proud Boys suck. They're Nazis. And it's only gonna get worse. So I talked about how Donald calls to his army. Proud Boys are his army. That's who's gonna rise up. Because when Donald Trump is defeated in 2020, if he makes it that far, and makes it to an election, he's gonna lose. All the polls show it. He's gonna lose. So when he loses, he's not gonna believe it. He's gonna say, "Oh, it's been rigged." And so his army is gonna rise up, and his army are the Proud Boys and the people who follow him, and that guy with the hammer. Remember, the guy with the hammer is not the guy who's being prosecuted in Portland. The guy being prosecuted in Portland is the guy who got hit by the hammer. The state protects the Nazis. So when Donald Trump sends his Proud Boys, they're gonna have protection of the state. That's why you need to be tight with your community, with the people around you who know better, because you can't always look to the state to protect you when it's been corrupted by Nazis. You're gonna have to look to each other for protection from the Proud Boys, because that's who's coming. All right, here, do I have to show you that video again? What do Proud Boys look like? Well, they drive big black buses. They drive big black buses, they wear red hats, and they jump out and hit people with hammers. That's them. That's who's gonna come after you. These guys right here with the hammer, right? And the state is gonna protect him. If you get hit with the hammer, the state is gonna put you in prison for being hit with the hammer. It's happening right now in Portland. There's my gold farm. Finally, my goodness. So I'm not quite done with the Billionaires line. Almost there. These trips are ridiculous though, huh? Oh man. Well, I'm finally back. All right. Well, I'll continue on the construction of the Billionaires line at my normal show time on Sundays at 8 a.m. every Sunday morning. Come join with me live and hang out and have more topics to talk about. All right. This is PoGokeRo, still working on my Billionaires line and calling out PewDiePie for being a Nazi. And I will check you guys later. Peace.